Welcome back to my channel. My name is Aika, and today I'm just gonna take a look at my Monstera Adansonii. I got it 2 or 3 weeks ago. It had mealybugs. It looked like it had been really neglected. So I'm just basically going to take a look at it, make sure there are no more mealybugs, and most likely repot it. So stay tuned. So here it is. It's looking pretty good. There's some yellow vines and some yellow leaf tips I see. So there's some yellow little dead things, so I'm actually gonna prune those. And then we have a bunch of leaves with these yellow tips. But there's new growth. You can see this right here. New growth. This leaf is new. So we have a leaf here that has a kind of yellow petiole, I think it's called, and a brown tip. But overall, it looks more healthy than unhealthy. There's tons of new growth, but I have a feeling, considering how big this plant is, I think it's gonna need to be repotted. So let's take a look. I'm actually gonna take off my socks. It's gonna get messy, I think. Big plants are rough to repot. Oh, and also these leaves are so fragile. I hear lots of crunching. It's like a bunch of little clovers growing at the base of the plant. I don't know if you can see that. So I have a feeling this hasn't been looked at in a very long time. So I'm gonna actually just turn this over, give the pot a little squeeze. Get my chopstick, do one of these. Alright, it's coming out. Holy sh! Oh my god. Not again. I had a feeling about this. Oh sh! Ugh. Okay. I don't want to rip these roots. So what I'm actually going to do is take my pruners and probably ruin them. But I'm going to try to actually cut the plastic instead of cutting the roots, and then that might do something. Alright, I'll be back once I get this white thing taken out and I'll show you the roots. Alright, so I thought I was recording for the past like 15 minutes and then my camera just turned off, and it's not because the battery's low, it's because I wasn't recording. So it shut off automatically. So I just put some soil in the new planter, and right now I'm basically untangling the roots because the planter's just a little shallow for the plant. So I'm gonna unmat the roots that were on the bottom, that were like a thick layer of roots. I'm gonna unmat that and kind of like disperse them sideways so that it could just fit better in the cocoa liner pot. So that's what I'm doing. So I unmatted it a lot already, and it's not too bad. I think the kangaroo paw fern roots were way harder to manage. I'm actually just gonna go through these roots more closely to see if there's anything rotten or dry. Like this feels pretty, it's like compacted, feels kind of dehydrated. So I'm just gonna prune this a bit, kind of also to make room for new roots. So anything that feels kind of mushy or dry, like too dry, I'm gonna just cut that off. They're actually pretty healthy roots, so that's awesome. Guys, please let me know if you have suggestions for a situation like this. I don't come across this that often, so if you think I should prune the roots back more than I am, since I'm doing like the most minimal root pruning, If you think I should like prune them back more or anything like that, please leave a comment and let me know. Okay, I'm gonna prune these roots more. I'm actually gonna chop these right here. Okay. So that fits better now. I took some roots off and I took some dirt, moved it around. Sweet. I'm gonna just use a chopstick to break up the root ball even more. For the most part, I finished putting dirt in here, and I'm just gonna start pruning this plant now and then taking cuttings and putting them in the soil here. If you can see, there's actually a lot of like open space. It seems like the plant is growing from just a handful of areas, and this plant is really long and hard to manage. I still want to make it a little bushier in the center because I'm pretty particular about having my plants bushy. So this is a really beefy aerial root. So I think I'm going to cut it there. There's one leaf attached. I would want one more, but I think since these are so developed, it'll be okay. But typically I would want one more leaf on there. I'm also going to do this one, and it has 3 leaves attached to it. So something I did with my pothos to get it bushy, instead of just taking cuttings, so I've taken 2 cuttings so far, you can also just lay vines that are still attached, and you can lay them on top of the dirt and make sure those nodes make contact with the soil, and they will actually root in place and just put out new shoots. That's a great idea if you're like not confident in propagating. Anything you could propagate from a stem cutting. For example, I did it with a string of pearls. Instead of cutting the string, I just laid the string on top of the soil, and it rooted in like several different spots, and all those different spots produce a new like stem. So I'm gonna do that as well as some cutting propagations. Alright, so what I basically did was repot my Adansonii. It was pretty pot bound. Also, I pruned some of the roots because I actually couldn't fit it in the new planter that much. So I just, maybe like, I don't know, 5 or 10% of the roots I just like cut off from the bottom. And I actually ended up taking a ton of cuttings from the plant because it was just too big. It was very unmanageable. So I'm going to show you all the cuttings I took, and then I'll show you the plant. So over here we have one of the bunch of cuttings. It's a lot. You can see the jar is totally filled. Here's another one. And the third one. Yeah, I'm actually psyched to have like 3 to 5 new Adansonii plants. So that's really cool. I'll definitely update you guys as they grow roots, and then when I pot them up, I'll do a video on that. But besides that, here is the parent plant. So it's still looking pretty good, besides this brown spot. There's still a couple brown spots, but I just left them because the rest of the leaf is healthy. I left a very long vine. There's only 2 cuttings in the soil right now. Like I said, it was too hard to manage everything, so that's why I took the cuttings, and I think I'm just gonna root a bunch of them into the center to make it bushier, because you can see it's kind of scraggly on top. And a lot of the growth was like around this area. It was very heavy over here and not so much in the center. So I basically took a lot of the cuttings from just this area, just to make it lighter and easier to care for. But I think it looks pretty good. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you have done something differently to repot this or with the roots, or if you have any tips for other pot-bound plants. But that's it, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.